right now, I guess that's who we are. I mean, it's Bruin baseball. Sometimes it's grueling. It's tough to watch, I'm sure, from outside the dugout. But our kids hung in there, and they persevered. I mean, we really didn't do much offensively. You really got to give their pitchers a ton of credit. They pounded the zone, and we were opportunistic. Would be the right word, I guess. And pitching and defense, I think, is clearly our strength. Our guys know our strength, and sometimes it's walking a tightrope. That's for sure. And tonight was one of those nights. So we feel very fortunate to beat a very good North Carolina State team. They're offensive. They can run. Turner hit that ball in the 8th that was driven on a line, and then our defensive replacement, Christoph Bono, went up and got it, and great play, and we pitched out of problems. So I got to tip my hat to our guys. We hung in there, and at the end of the day, we're moving on. Different level of pitching. When you're talking about pitching out of the zone when you want to, and then pitching in the zone when you want to, that's another level of pitching. And I think Nick showed that ability. And I think, Turner shows you how special he is to be able to recognize that, because not many players can recognize that when it's being done to them. And, you got to, wow, I mean, that's impressive that he said that, because you hear coaches sometimes say that, or, scouts or whatever, but coming from a player, I got to, that makes me think he's pretty sharp. And, but he's right. He pitches in the zone. He pitches elevated, out of the zone. He pitches in very well. We pitch with the fastball, and and the change, and certainly the breaking balls. But at the same time, our foundation is the fastball, and Nick has as good as command as we've had in a long time.
Try to make pitches, stick to the same approach I've had all year, and pitch just like Coach said, pitch in the zone, pitch out of the zone, and try to make the hitter swing at my pitches instead of him swinging at his pitches. So just try to change speeds, move the fastball around, and Shane and our defense played really good defense behind me.
I knew he got a good swing off on it. I wasn't sure quite how well he hit it. I kind of watched it. My heart sunk a little bit because I made a bad pitch, and I knew he's a great hitter. So a lot of the times you do those combinations, not very many good things happen, but luckily Christoph went out and made a great play for me, and I was able to get out of that inning.
It's just more of a mentality with us. We try to grind out runs and, like Coach said, take advantage of our opportunities. We're not going to put up any gaudy numbers, and it's just more so a team effort. There's guys off the bench. Brett Urabe had a key walk. Chris Keck came in off the bench. We need everyone. And, from the offense, it does get a little frustrating at times, but when you have great pitchers like this, we know that we can put up a couple runs and play good defense, because we know that these guys will take us a long way.
He has thrown some 2-3 inning saves. We don't really like to do that, but with a couple days off, we went to him a little earlier. We try to sneak another out or two without using him, and hit the first pitch for a base hit in the 8th. So what can you say? I mean, the guy, we would never be here without him. So we're going to go down with him. He's one of those guys that he is works extremely hard at what he does. He's a great teammate. All these guys are. I mean, these guys are team guys. We would never be in the position we are without having great teammates. And David has learned a lot in our program over 2 years. Played for Team USA. He's starting to become a pretty experienced guy for how young he is, and so he can handle big moments. And I think tonight was as big a moment as you're going to see, in Omaha. So we're excited. He's on our team, and the guys trust giving the ball over to him. Nick, Adam, and Grant, and Cody, and even our other guys, James and Zach and Ryan. We have a strong belief in our bullpen, and that is one of our strengths. So David did his job. Well, I really think they're two of the most underrated players in the country, and I think they're showing that right now, Adam and Nick. And if you look at what they've done, specifically Adam over 3 years as a starter, Nick was our closer as a freshman. I mean, I don't know if you can find two guys that have had those types of careers in the Pac-12 at a major Division I program against major competition, and to put up the type of numbers that they have. I mean, one's a 6th rounder and one's an 11th rounder, and they're getting some great guys. I mean, they know how to compete. They know how to make pitches. I really kind of look at them almost like professionals right now, in the sense that their work habits in between starts, their conditioning, their throwing programs, their bullpens. I mean, they're well schooled, but I mean, a lot of people are well schooled. It's a matter of them finishing up their work and being resilient and trustworthy of what they do. And I can't say enough about those two guys. We would never ever be in a position without those two guys, and to go through regionals, to win the Pac-12 2 years, to go to Fullerton and beat them, and then beat LSU and NC State the way we've done it. What can you say? I just think that those two guys have pitched, masterful.
I think going back to my freshman year with seeing Garrett and Trevor kind of have that Friday, Saturday, the rotation there, and you see them how they act kind of throughout the year, and they're different guys. They were great teammates with each other, and I think me and Adam just saw that, and we kind of build off each other. I mean, he's a outstanding pitcher, and we pitch very similar, so I get to see the hitters Friday, and then see Adam, how he pitches to him, and then I try to do the same thing on Saturday. So I think our whole pitching staff is very close. Our whole team's very close. So I don't think it's just me and Adam, but the whole team's our bond's really grown throughout the year, and we'll see if we can finish this thing out.
Legitimate starter. I mean, the guy threw 3 pitches for strikes, and I think he only has 30 innings of work. I could be wrong on that, but he was good. I mean, I guess he slipped up a little bit in the 5th inning, but to give him credit, I mean, you got to, because I don't know if he expected to start. I don't know when he was told to start, but he pitched his tail off, and he was competitive, and he did his job. I mean, to get 4 and a third innings out of him, I'm not sure what they thought they were going to get out of him, but I was impressed. And it was a good fastball and a good breaking ball and a good change, and I really got to tip my hat to him because he competed. So I didn't think he cracked at all. He did his job, and to give up the 2 runs and, like he said, get 1 RBI in 2 games and win 2 games is probably a first in Omaha. So I think you got to give them a lot of credit. I think to come out of the West, I think you have to be very detailed. You have to really pitch. You have to play a very good defense, and you got to execute on offense. And we've had good offensive teams. I mean, we're a very capable offensive team. I mean, I know you look at 250 and the home runs and the run production and batting averages and so forth, but it's not all about that a lot of times. I mean, we scored 8 runs against Fullerton. I don't know who's done that against Eshelman and Garza. I mean, don't ask me how we did it all the time, but we did it. That's all that matters, is putting pressure on people and grinding out at bats, like Kevin said. And but our style has worked, I think, with the bats changing. I think you would have to say that's benefited us in some way. And then it happens to this ballpark is. It's a bigger ballpark, clearly, and so that plays into our hands. But we're still playing good baseball. You got to play good baseball. You can talk about pitching and defense all you want, but these guys are executing things. And to give up 2 runs in 18 innings, there's a lot going on there, other than just saying, well, I mean, there's guys making plays off the bench, and Bono's going to get the ball in left field, and Carroll's going to get some balls, and Feely's getting some balls, and we think we have as good as left side in the country with Pat and Kevin, and Shane Zeal is a converted catcher who's looks, I think, as good as anybody. So we have good players, and we're just not scoring a bunch of runs, but I don't know who is. So you know, we win in a lot of different ways, and right now we're winning, you know, our way. So, you know, right now we're in a good position, and you know, we got to get ready for Friday.